This is a cartoon by William Hifeli. The punchline, "I'm not losing my memory, I'm living in the now." This is a recent article from the New Zealand Herald arguing that our economy will suffer if we ignore pollution in our lakes and rivers. And this is Eilish Wilkes, a 17-year-old New Zealand teenager who's battled cancer since 2.5. So what do these three things have in common? Well, one answer to that is that they all represent problems New Zealand faces. But there's something else in common among these three pictures, and that's that they can all be addressed using nanotechnology. So it's my argument today that nanotechnology offers a very promising path to solving some of the health and environmental issues that face New Zealand. It's a very interesting thing that's just come up on the screen. So, what is nanotechnology? Well, nanotechnology is all about controlling matter at the itsy-bitsy nano level. And by itsy-bitsy, I'm talking about particles that are 1/1000th of a metre in size. So to get a sense of this, please, with me, take your hand, place it on your head, and literally just pluck a hair out for me, or several, and you'll see that although the strand of hair looks really, really small, you could actually fit 5,000 nanoparticles around it. So why would we want to work with something so small? Well, you see, at the nano level, things don't quite behave as larger objects do. They aren't governed by principles we all know and love, like Newtonian physics. Rather, nanoparticles are dominated by quantum effects, which means that their properties, like their reactivity, change depending on their size. And why is this so exciting? Well, it means we can literally fine-tune the properties of these nanoparticles depending on how we want to use them. So how could we use them to benefit New Zealand? Well, as we've mentioned, New Zealand faces a number of health issues, and without a doubt, these pose profound social costs to our country. They reduce the quality of life for thousands of New Zealanders and their families. So the biggest way that nanotechnology can actually promote New Zealand's social wealth and well-being is by addressing our health issues. The field of nanomedicine involves introducing these tiny nanoparticles into the body to detect abnormalities or make reparations at the molecular level. To give you a quick example, let's take cancer treatment. So we can actually design nanoparticles that have greater X-ray sensitivity to normal body cells. And this means that when we hit them with radiotherapy, they get destroyed at a much faster rate than the surrounding tissue. So that gives us more effective treatment. And that's sounding great, but what about New Zealand's environmental wealth and well-being? Well, nanotechnology can definitely offer New Zealand a more sustainable tomorrow by allowing us to monitor and reduce environmental pollutants. For instance, we can use nanoscale iron particles to react with environmental contaminants and detoxify them. So again, that's all sounding great, but is it really plausible? Well, you bet your kumara and chicken pie it is, because the promise of nanotechnology is already being seen across New Zealand and the globe. Just this last Monday, there was an article published in the Dominion Post about Victoria University students who are using nanoscale gold particles with a specific sequence of DNA bound to them to detect estrogens, a known contaminant in New Zealand waterways. And nanotechnology isn't just a research pipe dream either. A study published in the Journal of Nanomedicine last year reported that there were 247 nanomedicine products that had been approved for medical use or in some phase of clinical trial. So the reality is that nanotechnology is already being applied to the kinds of problems that New Zealand's facing. And as its research base continues to rapidly grow, the plausibility of using nanotechnology successfully only continues to increase. So to tie everything together, I'd like to present the business case for nanotechnology. If we really want to embrace nanotechnology, we're going to need to invest things like money and time. And if we want to apply it, we're going to need to make considerations around policy and ethics. And those are represented by that present on the left there. But what kinds of tangible benefits can we predict in the short and long terms? Well, in the short term, we have earlier, more accurate diagnoses, which can help us cut down medical costs like the $511 million we spend annually on treating cancers. We can also monitor and reduce environmental pollutants, cutting down expenses like the $500 million it's currently costing to clean up just 8 of our polluted lakes and rivers. And over the long term, these kinds of savings can actually be redirected into innovation and prosperity. We also have a healthier population, which reduces burden on the healthcare system. We sustain and ameliorate our breathtaking natural environment to support a $24 billion tourism industry. Our captive market in nanotechnology means that we can actually export health and environmental nanotech products across the world, supporting the $48 billion contribution that product exports make to the New Zealand economy every year. And our expertise in the field draws talent from across the world and gives young New Zealanders a reason to stay by virtue of new and exciting career prospects. So in all, nanotechnology represents an opportunity to tackle some of New Zealand's biggest health and environmental challenges. By working at the smallest possible level, we can create tangible social, economic, and environmental benefits for the country. Perhaps even more so, nanotechnology is an opportunity to thrive and grow, to ensure that Aotearoa continues to be a country we are proud of and becomes a place, as Sir Paul Callaghan imagined, where talent wants to live. Thank you.